Hello everyone, I'm your lovely host Innocent, and welcome to today's video. Now, I know in the last art-related video I got a lot of bit sidetracked from what I wanted to say and do, so I wanted to make a redemption sort of thing and not go about commissions and other things again, because I definitely need a script for that, or else I am going to go off kilter again. Today I wanted to talk more about why it is important to have varying proportions and different body types for characters that you have. I know many other artists on YouTube have already went through this and have talked about this, but I wanted to have my own spin on it because I think it's important, and I know a lot of my drawings have like same body, same face syndrome a lot of the time, especially my chibis, but I don't really count chibis because they're chibis. They're supposed to be minimalistic. Anyway, all day today I've been character designing and character developing for the game I want to make, and it made me realize that you definitely need diversity in a cast, especially if you want to do a game. And sure, you could look at like Doki Doki Literature Club. They have diversity, but they still kind of have same face syndrome, which isn't a bad thing. A lot of animes actually do have same face syndrome, and again, nothing terrible with that, but they do at least have different body types. Like Natsuki, she's very thin and small, like a loli. Then there's Yuri, she has very big boobs. Monika's kind of the normal average Joe, and so is Sayori. I guess there's only 3 body types. Either way, what I'm trying to say there is, even in big popular games, there isn't a very wide, diverse range of body types and representation. With my game, I want to at least put out representation and diverse body types. I don't know if I'm going to conquer same face syndrome quite yet, but I'm working on it. As for body types, I have some that I've drawn out over here on the side, and they're just sketches, and just minimal sketches, because I don't want to give too much away about the characters. But when seeing these sketches, you might pick up on some of their character traits, on their personality more so. So just beware. If you do not want to know anything about my game, then go away right now, or just ignore it. Or maybe these won't even be their final character traits. Who knows? Either way, here's what I've drawn so far. As you can see, they're very, very basic sketches. And that's what I meant them to be. Mostly for you can see that this is like their average Joe body type up here. And then we have over here is a more curvy hourglassy shape, but more on the heavy side of that. This one is very thin and sticky. This one is more top heavy. This one is pure hourglass, and this one is bottom heavy. And I wanted to have a very diverse range of body types. And of course, with these sketches on the side is them in motion, them in character. So let's move up to the top here. And as you can see, I've marked them as M3, F3, and so forth, for I know who's who, but you guys won't. So M3 up here is normal, like generic body type of average Joe. And nothing really special about the body type, but it's still good to have. Like, if you see most drawings of characters, you're going to see that this is the average. Shoulders are this way, the hips are this one, arms, legs, whatever, heads this, blah, 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 blah. But nothing, like, going down to F3 here, it's very much so a circular game, when this one is more of a boxy, triangular game. When you're designing characters, it's good to have in mind what types of shapes you want the characters to have, even if it's a human. Like, this human is going to be circular. And when designing characters, circular tends to mean that it's going to be more soft and docile, while boxes and triangles mean more like hard on and straight edged and like angular. I don't know how I'm going to explain that easier. Like when you think of a circle, you think squishy, and when you think of a box, you think hard. That's basically the shapes that we're playing with in humans. Like if you see the Incredibles cast, Mr. Incredible is triangular and square-shaped because he is the strong superhero type. And Elastigirl, is that her name? Anyway, she is more of like circle-shaped because she's squishy and stretchy. Do you see where I'm going here now? Awesome. So we have Average Joe here, M3, and he's more boxy, triangular-ish. F3 is very circular, so that's going to be squishy. Q, on the other hand, is kind of a mixture of both. In media recently, there have been a lot of people picking up on the fact that most good duo characters are a short and stubby character mixed with one that's a large, like, lanky character. And it works because you have the very diverseness of both of them. And more so it has to do with the face. So we have a long, slender face mixed with a round face. Now, that doesn't have to be in every form of media that you do or every character designing session that you do, but it's good to have diverse faces and body types. So this one is very, very slender, more on the triangular side of things. When standing, he would be a triangle, really. But this one's meant to be very slender, very just, when you see him, you're thinking, God, he needs to put on some weight or else he's going to fall apart. He's just bones. That's basically this character. Anyway, moving down to M1, you can see that he is more top-heavy. He has the more triangular Dorito-shaped body that most superheroes would take on. And as you can see from, like, this semi-side angle over here, he is very much so nothing really going on down here. More so, he basically has the same bottom-ish as M3, a little bit smaller even, and a top-heavy, triangular muscle, broad shoulder, everything up here. Going down to F1, I was trying to emphasize that she was an hourglass shape, like super hourglass, and you can see it more so in this one that it looks more body proportionate, but definite hourglass. Very feminine, and most hourglass shapes would scream femininity to most people. And I wouldn't recommend doing hourglass shapes a lot, which is why only one of my characters is really having it. Very thin waist with very big bust and hips. Only one, and it's for a reason. So if at the very least, if you do an hourglass shape, make sure there's a reason if it's exaggerated like this. And finally, F2 would be the pear shape. So it's very, not that all heavy up top and very heavy in the hips. Now, going through all these characters, you can definitely see that there is a range of characters. And this isn't even all of the characters that I have in this lineup. But I wanted to give you guys a general idea of what I'm going for. So, the reason why most people want to do this, especially in like cartoon shows or comics, is because in a lineup, if you had to distinguish them by silhouette alone, would you be able to if they all had the same body? That's also like in a game. So, let's take SpongeBob for example. They have a very wide cast of body types for their characters. SpongeBob is obviously a square sponge. He doesn't really have a body type, but he's very distinguishable. Squidward is very much so skinny and lethal. Not lethal. He's not lethal, but he's very skinny and lanky. Patrick is very much so pear-shaped or heavy-set. Mr. Krabs is also heavy-set, but he has distinguishing eye features and claws that make him stand out like when he's beside Patrick. And especially Pearl. Pearl is top-heavy. But if you line up all of those characters and put a silhouette over them, just being a black shadow, you could pick out who's who. Or at the very least distinguish that they're different characters. Now let's take an anime like Sword Art Online. If I took away the hair of these characters, would you be able to tell the difference in any of them, realistically? Especially silhouetted? Hell, silhouetted, the only one I can really stand out is Xion, because she has ears in one season thingy. Now, I'm not saying this is a bad thing. Obviously, Sword Art Online is very popular for a good reason. You don't have to have all of these fancy body types to make a successful story or franchise or anything. But it's easier for your audience to understand who's who if you do this. Especially if it's going to be in a game, if there's fast-moving action in an anime, animation, anything, it's easier for your audience. But again, you don't have to do it. It's just a nice thing to have. So when you're going to create a character next time, think about all of the characters that you have already. Do they look the same? Do they have the same body type? Or if you're drawing and you're not really making characters, try drawing in different body types. It's a fun little exercise. Because you never know what kind of characters you could create with just a few simple tweaks. Like, I still have a few more characters to flesh out this way, and I'm trying to think of what else I can do, and it's kind of hard. Also, having different heights for your characters also helps. Like right now, Q over here is the tallest character. For obvious reasons, when you do lanky, skinny people, they tend to be taller because you want to accentuate their skinniness. And like most chunkier, fatter characters are going to be shorter because you want to accentuate their curves and their plumpness. This is not fat shaming anybody, by the way, or skinny shaming or whatever shaming. This is just how cartoons generally work. Again, look at Steven Universe. Most of the lanky characters are taller, while most of the chubbier characters are short. That's just the way you play with emotions and brain functionality in cartoons. Because they're not real. But to make sure you know what's what, they kind of have a box, and your brain has a box. And if the two boxes matches, your brain lights up and goes, "Oh, that's good." But again, just like most anime, you don't have to do that. It's just nice to have. So, with that being said, I'm going to end this here because I still have a lot of work to do, as you can see. And let me know if you find any of these characters interesting, like on this side. Because as you can see, there's shy, there's outgoing, there's questionable, there's tough, and there's clumsy. But let me know what you guys thought about it in the comments below. And don't mind my very sketchy sketches. I tried my best. And this is mostly for my own, not entertainment, but understanding of my characters anyway. So, with that being said, I hope you guys had a wonderful day. I hope this was somewhat understandable and somewhat entertaining and or helpful. Either one of those will do for me. But without further ado, thank you for watching. I hope you had a wonderful time, and I hope to see you all so very soon. Peace out. Bye-bye.